We really need this rear end out of the white 91, out of the donor car, because the brakes on the green car are really just crap. And we didn't have any of these brake lines. So all of this stuff right here had been cut. Rather than trying to fix all that, we're just gonna swap the rear ends out. And I went ahead and saved the e-brake cables. So that way we can just transfer all of that stuff in. I'm gonna try to put everything back, you know, as correct as possible. That's kind of the whole goal of this car. So yeah, we should be good to go here pretty soon. I'm gonna clean this up. I'm not gonna detail it or anything, but I am gonna clean it up. Probably shoot a little bit of black paint on it. So we'll probably go ahead and just put a new gasket on this, reseal everything, throw some new shoes on this thing, and hey, we'll be good to go. Remember how I was telling you guys that, you know, hey, I used to work in the dirt and the grass and everything else? Well, I'm not sure that times have really changed much. So this is the vert. My wife's gonna kill me. I mean, looks like a junkyard back here, but it's part of the process. And that's one of the things that I want to encourage you guys, you know, don't get discouraged because you're making a mess. I mean, it's just part of it. You're gonna make a mess, things are gonna get messed up, nasty, but at some point, you should be able to get all this stuff cleaned up, you know. And that's the thing. It's discouraging at the moment. I have junk everywhere. You know, I don't want a junkyard in my yard, but it's gonna be like this for a little while. And I just want to remind you guys, you know, if you have a project like this and let's just say the clutter and the junk is just starting to get to you, just finish the project, then you can clean everything up, make everything nice and pretty again. So also, look what's peeking out over here. Yeah, I drove it to the backyard today, guys. That was a big deal. I was happy about that. So man, we still got some buffing to do. I see it right over there on that fender. It's gonna aggravate me, but yeah, she looks good sitting out here. All right, here we are. We're back with a little update. So I think the last time you saw me, we were talking about the rear end out of the vert. So it's still over here. We've not gotten to that yet. Like I told you guys, I'm trying to take a little break this week. So this week's gonna be kind of slow. So I said I wasn't gonna do this yet, but I think I am. I had to respray one of the ground effects over here, and I've been sanding on the trim, and I'm gonna shoot a little trim black on it. Also, I clear coated this intake over here, so I'll show you guys that. This is the Explorer GT40 intake. So we've got it sprayed now. It's a good looking intake though. Anyway, over here is the ground effect that I resprayed. I think it was that one over there that I had to respray. So just kind of got everything out, cleaning it all up. It looks like a hot mess right now, but it is what it is. Also sprayed the hood hinges. I didn't put any clear coat on them. Kind of did like the factory, just with a base coat. So we got those. Now over here, I'm not going to spray any of the interior today, but I was just kind of getting it out. I am going to go ahead and get ready. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but we got to get ready to put these tail lights in because we need to start sealing this car up. Now it needs all new seals, weather stripping in it, but we do need to go ahead and get some of this stuff in. As far as other interior stuff, we're just going to kind of hold off on this right now. The next thing to do is the rear end of the car, get it swapped out, get those brakes working. That's the hold up right now. So we need to get the brakes working, and then I need to put a power steering pump on the car and do the steering rack. And after that, I mean, we can drive this thing. We can take it down the road, drive it, do whatever we want to do. We should be good to go. What we're going to do is paint all this stuff up, and I'll probably just do a time lapse for you guys, and I'll show you the finished product. We may or may not pop a few things on the car today. All right, let's get started. All right, guys, we got everything sprayed, and what I did on the quarter glass was leave it like it was. So it was kind of rough, as you guys saw, like it was wet in spots and dry in spots. So what I wanted to do was show you guys the difference between like a good SEM trim black or SIM trim black versus some of that other stuff. Now, you guys saw this thing before. Now, it's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. But look how uniform this thing is in comparison to the way that it was. Like I said, there are some spots where the light will catch it and you can still see a little bit of the issues going on, but I promise you from a distance you're never going to notice this. The difference with the SEM stuff is it just lays uniform. You don't get a lot of the wet spots, dry spots, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more on this thing and see if we can make it uniform. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you guys the trick to making things uniform like this that maybe have like a few imperfections, you really have to put this stuff on wet. You can't come in with little dry coats. It's not going to work. You're essentially kind of filling everything in. So that is a good uniform wet coat, other than right there. So tell you what, we'll let that dry up, then we'll come back and look at it. In the meantime, let's go over here and look at all of this stuff. So this is all of the trim that goes on the car. You can buy the front window trim. I'm not sure if you can buy the rear window trim. Your mirrors do somewhat get expensive. I think they're like 60 bucks a piece. Typically you can just respray those. Door handles, same way, you can respray those. She's sitting here just waiting for trim. So we do have some new pieces that we're going to go ahead and put on the car. As far as, you know, any other changes on the car, no changes. We do have to touch this stuff up right here, so I'm gonna have to come in and respray this, but hey, that's no problem. That's from where we put the engine in the car. It scratched it up, but you know what though, overall, if you stand back and look at this thing, and it's not clean under here yet, so you stand back and look at this, it's going to be a clean engine bay, no doubt. You know, we're going to have the 3G alternator upgrade. We have a nice intake sitting here. I'll clean everything up as we put it on. We're going to have a new power steering pump over here. The valve covers will be all sprayed and matching because they don't match right now. I tell you what, let's go ahead and look at this quarter glass, see if it's dried up yet. And it has. So as you guys can see, very, very uniform look. You know, like I said, not perfect, doesn't have to be. But this trim black does a really good job of hiding imperfections. That's just kind of like what it does. I'm good with that right there. I have this thing like looming over my head back here with this rear end. So I've got to get that done, and I have to get the power steering pump and the power steering rack done. After that, guys, I'm telling you, it is downhill. We're going to start painting interior parts. We're going to be putting in carpet, just making this thing look good. Well, some of the parts are starting to dwindle down. So this is where we're at right now. We have the felt piece in right here for the window so that it kind of cleans the window as it goes down. And we have the new outer belt moldings, the mirror sprayed. I just resprayed this top piece. I'm probably going to have to get another one. It just doesn't look that good. Sprayed the door frame. So yes, now we have black door frames, guys. I told you we were going to do it, just now getting around to it. And I didn't do anything with the rear quarter windows. It was already done. But right in here, we do have to come in and spray this black. So that will be next. But anyway, you know, got the trim on the front windshield too. Nothing's, you know, cleaned up at the moment, but we do have all the trim on the car, so, or at least on this side and in the back. So what do you guys think? It's starting to look like a complete car now. Still got a lot of cleaning to do and stuff like that, but I think she's going to be all right. She's going to look good. I really wish you could see this. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the color to the way I see it right now. Show you guys what I'm seeing in this particular light with this car. Judging by the looks on the camera, it's just it's not saturated enough, so we're going to go ahead and bring the color up on this thing, show you guys what it is that I'm seeing at the moment. We also got the tops of the taillights sprayed, so they look really good. I'm going to come in and just clean everything up. I'm not too worried about the reflectiveness down in here. Well, it was bound to happen. We had to change this power steering pump out. So that's what I'm doing today. Now this is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial because obviously I've already pulled the thing out. I do want to apologize about that. There's going to be so much stuff here coming up that I'm not going to film just because I got so much stuff going on, and sometimes I just need to get out here and just get after it and start working. But I thought about it. I said, well, I'll go ahead and bring the camera out, take you guys along at least a little bit here and there, and show you what it is that I'm doing with the car right now. So we have the power steering pump off the car. Also, you may notice this little doohickey right here. So when I got the 91 Vert, it had a mechanical manual gauge, whatever you want to call it, on the car. So it had a hard line going to the gauge. Well, I didn't have a sending unit, so I had to just do this for right now. Now the car does have, well, I say plenty. The car does have oil pressure because I spun the car over without all that attached and it shot oil out of it. So that's how I know it's got oil pressure. Plus the damn thing doesn't rattle and all that. So we're pretty good there. So today what we're going to do is just kind of take some things off the car, clean up some stuff, and then we got to attack this power steering rack. I'm not looking forward to that. It's not that big of a job, but at the same time it just sucks. Still have to do the rear end on the car, but I doubt very seriously I'll get to that this week. I'll probably save that for next week. So here is the old pump and it just locked up. So I think that was my fault. I'm not sure exactly how these pumps work, but I didn't have the lines hooked up to it, and I was running the car with no lines hooked up, and I think it just built up pressure and locked itself up. I don't know. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of, because out of the blue the car was just idling and it just locked up. So over here we have the cover, so we're going to clean that thing up. Might polish on it a little bit, make it look decent. And obviously now's the time to do all that type stuff. So if you're working on your car and you're pulling components off of it, go ahead, clean them up, paint them, do whatever it was you were going to do. If I can get this power steering done tonight to the point to where I can really move the car around, then tomorrow I may attack getting all the ground effects really bolted onto the car, because right now they're just kind of sitting up there. I got to go back to the auto parts store and actually get the pump. So I'll catch you guys whenever I get back. What do we have? That's right. Look at that, guys. We have one shiny piece on the car. So as you can see, I have the power steering pump on the car, and I decided to sand and polish a little bit on this while I had it off. So I very well may do that to the idler pulley over here whenever I pull it off, and I'll just do my best to clean up the air conditioner. We'll have a new alternator on the car, so that should look pretty good. So when you look at it, you should have a little little pop here and there. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. So all the lines have been transferred over from the Vert. The donor car has been a lifesaver. I have gotten so many parts off that car. I know a couple people have said, I know at some point you're going to want to restore that car. No, I'm not going to be able to restore that car because I have stripped it of everything, and it was already in rough shape anyway. But man, that thing has been a lifesaver for this car. So we're getting there, guys, slowly but surely. Every day I do a little bit here, a little bit there, and we are getting there. So if the power steering pump and rack work, which I'm not sure because I just used the rack that was in the car, I figured we'd go ahead and try it first. If that works, guys, the only thing left is the brakes. That's it. And then we're driving this thing. We're going wherever you want to go with it. So that's really good. So the reason why I wanted to come out and show you where we're at right now is because I still have to go get transmission fluid or power steering fluid for this thing. And I don't know if it's going to be dark by the time I get back to fire it up. But I just want to show you what it looked like right now. And really the only thing left to do is put the belt on this thing and go get some power steering fluid. All right, I'm going to run to the store, going to get some transmission fluid. We'll come back and see if this thing works. I don't anticipate it working, but hey, you never know, right? If we got any power steering for right now, I can deal with that. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, this is a happy day for me. We now have the engine running, it's cooling, everything's hooked up, power steering seems to be doing good. The power steering pump is a little loud, so I think it just needs to work its way through. It's already getting better though. I'm just going to kind of let it run, work the air bubbles out. But guys, let's just take a second and look at what we've done. We've taken a car that was basically stripped, made into a race car, essentially. Somebody was going to make it into a race car. Pretty much stripped everything out of it. An LX just sitting in the backyard that we were going to use for a parts car. And now just look, guys. Look at what we are on our way to creating. Look at where we're at right now. There's something about this that just makes you feel so good, especially knowing that, you did it yourself. And it may not be perfect, but it's a car you built with your own hands. And you know what? Anybody can do this. There's cars out there that are rolling chassis, and there are engines out there just waiting to be purchased, and just make the two up, spend a little time, and next thing you know, you have a running, driving car. If this thing had brakes on it, we would do a burnout right now. That's what it's all about, guys. Just look at this. Still needs a tune-up, but you know what? This thing could sit here all day and idle just like this. Coming up soon, we're going to get the AC working on this car also. Interior, that's coming up soon. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of take you around with me, share with you my thoughts, and show you what I do. Like, anytime I fix something on the car or make something better, correct something, I can't help but walk around the car, 10, 15 times. I look at it from different angles. I'm just so proud. And You know what? That's nothing to be ashamed of. You should be proud of your work. That's what we do as car guys. Got this thing running. Look, guys, it's not smoking, it's not knocking, it's sitting here just chilling, just running. I'm like a proud dad right now. But coming up real soon, we'll be doing the rear end and the brakes on the car, and possibly be painting a hood, starting on the interior. We still got a lot of content, and I promise you that I will slow things down as we get into the interior side of things, and I'll show you some of the things that I do to make these interiors look good. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.